After my divorce, I thought things would just get better. Time would heal all wounds, and after a certain amount of time, I'd just be back on track. And that couldn't be further from the truth. And I'm not saying that time doesn't help. I just wasn't doing the things I needed to do to heal and grow and move forward and actually move on from what had just happened. Because you have to grieve and heal and process emotion and figure out a plan for your next chapter. I wasn't doing any of that. So after longer than necessary, I did figure out how to put your life back together after divorce and do it in a really beautiful, big, wonderful way. This is just a reminder that if you're going through this right now, it's okay to feel the feelings and take some time. Don't forget that you've got to take the steps necessary to get to that next chapter. That's exactly what I do now. I help women start over after divorce. If you feel stuck and you need help with a plan, you can schedule a free 15-minute call with me and we can kind of talk about where you're at and where you want to go and how I can help you get there. But no matter what, don't forget, it's gonna be okay. You got this.
Let's see what these women have to say about their divorce.
English is not my first language. It has been 2191 days since I divorced him, since I walked out of the courthouse smiling and laughing with him. It has been 2566 days since our daughter was born, the light of my life, the only thing that keeps me going. It has been 1465 days since I met my ex-husband's new girlfriend. I haven't decided yet if she's cruel or if I just hate that my husband could ever live someone else but me. It has been 2164 days since I have decided that I should have never got a divorce. I'm now forced to play the happy married divorced couple after 6 years of my marriage brought both friend groups together. That exact same day I realized I couldn't confess this to anyone as it would spread like wildfire among all of our friends and my husband would figure it out sooner or later. It has been 2170 days since I bought the house next to my husband. I regret my purchase. I like that my daughter is always able to see her dad, but it kills me to see her call her stepmom, Mum and me, Mommy. It has been 48 days since my last confession. Religion is now the only thing that keeps me away from snapping. The priest is the only person I can openly talk about my problems, knowing that he can't tell them to anyone. It has been 2184 days since the last time I told him I loved him. Those words still stand today. It has been less than 24 hours since I last cried over him. I claim that I hate the way he smiles. I live for them. I say I hate the way he laughs. At this point, I'm picking him apart for the most human-like things to try to make me fall out of this torture loop that I have fallen into. It has been 147 days since my last date, and my subconscious keeps comparing all the men in the world to him. In my mind, he is perfect and nothing could change that. 2191 days since the judge said that our custody agreement was the best that he had seen so far. It has been 2190 days since our last family dinner that ended with our verdict, our divorce. For most of the past 6 years, I've been forced into the role of a happy ex-wife who has to see her husband grow old with the woman. He loves me while I rot in my own prison. I see the post that his girlfriend put on Instagram. I see a happy man, one who loves his life, and I have no idea of my suffering. I sometimes miss when he looked at me like I was the only girl in the world. I miss the way he comforted me in my moments of grief. I regret divorcing my husband. I will regret it all my life, 2191 days. Today marks the anniversary, and I am sitting alone on Sunday regretting my past life while he's out with his girlfriend on a dinner date.
My husband and I have been together since I was 17. We have been married for 2 years. It has been a tumultuous journey involving mental illness, him, and some abuse, though that has subsided since the mental illness has been managed. I have always had this gut feeling that he and I are not meant to be together. Over the past few years, I have slowly but surely lost nearly all romantic feelings for him. I honestly felt repulsed when he kissed me, and I generally did not enjoy having sex with him. I feel deeply attached to him, and I think that's why I married him, but I had serious doubts before and after the wedding. We have a strong friendship and generally a pretty happy life together, but again, I have just always felt that something was off. In October, I connected with someone who I had instant chemistry and an emotional connection with. Nothing physical happened, but it confirmed for me that something was deeply missing in my marriage. I immediately told my husband what had happened and that I didn't know if I wanted to be with him. We decided to separate, and he moved out of the house. Since then, I have formed a relationship with this other man. It is everything my marriage is not. We are deeply passionate, and I am insanely attracted to him. We have fun together, he is kind to me and makes me feel loved. He has never pressured me to get divorced and truly wants me to just be happy. In December, I told my husband I wanted a divorce. He did not feel the same way, and he wanted to try counseling. But I was firm in my decision, and he understood. He seemed to kind of start to move on with his life, and we have had minimal contact. Since contacting a divorce lawyer, however, I am having some serious second thoughts. My husband is aware and is still open to making things work. I miss my husband and the life we had. I just don't know if those romantic feelings are something that can be salvaged. I don't know if I deserve to have him back after the things I've done over the past few months, entering a new relationship, and if we would be able to move past that. I also really don't want to say goodbye to this new man and the relationship we've built. I look forward to the future with this new man, but I am also deeply saddened by the idea of my husband being out of my life forever. Am I simply mourning the loss of a 10-plus year relationship, or do I truly want to be with my husband? Do I owe it to him to give it another shot? Or do I just need to set him free? Was I just bored and absolutely out of my mind? I am in therapy and it has been helpful, but I feel absolutely paralyzed by this decision, and I absolutely have to make one. I know I have been and am continuing to be extremely selfish. I want to make the right decision for me rather than simply choosing between two men, but it feels impossible.
I regret not making my marriage work, and now my ex-husband is happily remarried. When I was in my early 30s, I divorced my husband. We didn't have any major issues. Our relationship was just challenged after having kids. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I expected him to do more of the housework and childcare when he worked full-time. He did help me when I asked, but I started to ask more of him and I burnt him out. I used to have him wrapped around my finger, and I used that as an advantage to get what I wanted. He eventually got tired of it. I started threatening to divorce him, and he said he knew the baby was just stressing us out and he would like to make it work. But when I was 30, I thought I was a great catch because I'm still very beautiful for my age, and I lost my mom bod, so I thought I could do better than him, so I left him. I got our house in the divorce, and we share joint custody of our son. Fast forward to now, I'm 41 and still single, and my ex-husband is 41 and got remarried to a 31-year-old woman who is incredibly beautiful. They had their daughter 3 years ago. He bought a new house. My son loves going to his dad's to spend time with his other family, and I'm not gonna lie, it makes me jealous. She has it all. She took my husband, she took my kid, she took my life that was once all mine, and all I have is the house we created our family, and now I live in an empty house. I'm 41, I gained 20 pounds, I've got wrinkles, and I'm alone and miserable. I've had short-term relationships after the divorce, but they never worked out. Men just don't want an old woman like me with a child, and I've noticed that men with kids just have a better time dating with kids than we do, and I hate it. I'm not happy anymore. I wish I could go back when I was younger, and I would have stopped being so childish. Now I have such a miserable life. I work a useless job now, and I have to share custody of my son, where he has to spend time at my ex-husband's house with his new and improved wife. I feel like a dumpster standing right next to her. My therapist said I should do something that'll make me happy, like a makeover, since I'm reminiscing about how I looked so much and comparing myself to his new, beautiful young wife. So I decided to get a new hairstyle, and that didn't help. No matter what I do, I look like a middle-aged woman. This is probably the most honest I've ever been in a while. I just feel like crap. I wish I was a better wife over 10 years ago so I wouldn't be in this position. I know a lot of people on Reddit preach about being alone and single, but honestly, this is not an ideal life or a life I would wish on my worst enemy.
That's all for today on Manhood. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe buttons, and also click on the notification bell to be the first to know when I drop a new video. If you find value in my videos, You can show your support through PayPal or Cash App. The links are in the description. See you next time. Cheers!